This is episode 49 of the Real Radar Radio Show. It's coming, guys. It's coming. It's literally almost a month away. Avengers Infinity War is due in theaters April 27th. We actually got the movie to come out a whole week earlier than planned. I think it's a great thing. Welcome to the Real Radar Radio Show, guys. My name is Eric V. I'm so glad to be back here doing another episode of the Real Radar Radio Show. It's been quite a bit. It's been quite a while since I've done an episode. Actually, I want to say maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months, close to that, since the beginning of maybe close to 2018. But nonetheless, it's March. Today is March the 17th. I am here doing another episode of the Real Radar Radio Show. And I'm very truly happy to be back, guys. I mean, it's been a long while since I've done an episode. So I'm very happy to be back. Quite a few things that we missed out on since, doing the past episode and doing things that we've, truly talked about. And, like I said, Infinity Wars is a little over a month away. So many things coming to light. We just got a brand new Avengers Infinity War final trailer, which came out yesterday, March the 16th. And a lot of details, a lot of new footage, a lot of new speculations that are coming to light with this, with this film, with this mega film that's coming out in April, and we can't, I can't even fathom the idea of how badass this film truly looks. Now, there's so many things that needs to be discussed about Avengers Infinity War, and there's so many other things that I need to touch base on concerning the fact that Marvel has truly hidden things, hidden things in their pockets, things that are going to be coming back to, the fruition come time for Infinity War. Now, I'm not going to jump the gun and say that things are going to, automatically, happen, and we can expect, the greatest and possibly the best thing to ever happen in the MCU to date. But what I can say is that we're in store for probably some very emotional, very, unsettling, unexpected things to happen if it come time for Infinity Wars and possibly Avengers 4. Now, what does that mean for the MCU? And what does that mean for, you as a viewer, as the audience? Well, that means that, some people just might not make it out of Infinity War. I mean, some people may or may not meet their demise in these films. Who knows? What we do know is that this is another trailer where there is no mention of Hawkeye, there is no mention of Nebula, there is no mention of Ant-Man. And what we have now is, brand new footage featuring Thor, Thanos, Captain America, Iron Man, very scarce footage of Black Widow, the incomparable pairings of, the Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. We have a lot of things that are, being consumed at the exact same time. One of the things I wanted to point out, though, before I discuss any other points of the trailer, other than, there being, more additions of more footage of this time around, I wanted to point out something really quickly, that Peter Dinklage actually is confirmed for Avengers Infinity War. There's no word of who he's playing or when he's going to pop out or what's going to happen. But, Tyrion Lannister is in Avengers Infinity War. Speculation has led to he could be Adam Warlock's buddy, Pip the Troll. He could be the master of dwarves, where Thor will be building Stormbreaker, or speculated Stormbreaker weapon, to later assist them in the battle against Thanos. It could happen. Maybe this one, maybe part 4. We don't know. What I do know is that Peter Dinklage's involvement in this film has been kept very secretive, very low key, very low profile. It's been speculated in the past where he was rocking some red hair on set. He was doing a few things here and there, and the man's got time. Obviously, he's got time off from Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones doesn't come back till 2019, along with Stranger Things, which is kind of upsetting. But at the same time, we really don't have a choice at this point to really accept the fact that we have to wait almost a whole year until we get the final season of Game of Thrones and the third season of Stranger Things. So this is really gonna suck. But we could probably expect some trailers or some teasers regarding those two projects later in the year. But like I said, I mean, hey man, Tyrion Lannister's in this one, and it's exciting to see what he's going to be bringing to the table alongside the Avengers and what that means for the upcoming MCU appearances. Maybe it's just a one thing. Who knows? But other than that, other things I want to talk about besides Infinity War was the fact that there's a lot of other things besides the Infinity War breakdown that I want to give you guys exclusively here, as I do with every other Marvel property that we've discussed in the prior past and everything that we've talked about regarding Marvel and regarding DC and everything that's come to fruition. Tomb Raider has just came out at the box offices. It's performing a little under the radar as expected, getting about maybe 2.5 stars out of 5. Barely making the return of what they've spent on the film previously. So that's a little underwhelming. I went to go see Death Wish yesterday with the fiance and my dad, and for the first time ever, you're hearing that on this show. My fiance, yes. During my time off, I exclusively and wholeheartedly proposed to my loving girlfriend of 4 years, and we will be getting married next year, 2019, November 2019. So we got a ways to go. We got a ways of planning and getting things situated, but nonetheless, it is very exciting. I'm truly excited and truly looking forward to the day of the wedding and so many other things that are happening. But aside from all that, I went to go see Death Wish, and I gotta say, man, Bruce Willis kicked so much ass in this film. It was just remarkable. It was kind of like watching the original Death Wish, but with a little bit more gore and a little bit more violence. And I think it just looked so much more badass with just Bruce Willis coming out and pretending to not know how to hold a gun or not how to shoot a weapon. But come on, man, this is Bruce Willis. He's been doing this shit for years, man. So to us to finally see Bruce Willis back on the big screen, it's awesome. It's amazing. I was truly a big fan of the Death Wish series, and seeing this film, just renewed my love for upcoming possibilities of sequels that could probably happen down the road. And my dad really loved it, so that was a really good thing to really go for us to go out and really enjoy the time that we got to hang out with each other and stuff. As many of you know, if you've seen my Instagram posts from way back when I've posted about the family dog Cody, my parents' dog Cody. He is a golden retriever. He was recently diagnosed with cancer in his snout as of a month and a half ago. So we didn't know how far along it was going to be until we received some news of second opinions. But nonetheless, Cody passed on this past Wednesday or Thursday. So recently there was a really hard time for the family dealing with the passing of Cody. He was a really great friend, a really great dog. He he was more than a dog, man. He was family. He's been around more than half my life, and I'm really truly honored and happy to know that I had a best friend in that dog, and he was amazing. He was everything to my family, to my dad. He was my dad's best friend, and it's a little bittersweet talking about it because I have a little one. I have a dog of my own with my fiance, and he's just a world to us, man. I mean, he's truly hyper. He's bouncing off the walls left and right. He's just a character of all sorts, but nonetheless, he's mine and my captain. That's what his name is. His name is Captain. I don't know what kind of dog he is. He's a mix between I gotta say like a Labrador and something else, but he's a character of sorts. He's just crazy all around, and his name's Captain. He's already 2. Had him for 2 years already. He's just way too funny. We're always getting into daily fights about, whose side of the bed, is whose. Obviously, I'm trying to assert my dominance. He's not having any of my shit. So, whatever, we're always duking it out. But nonetheless, that's me in a nutshell. That's kind of what I've been up to these past few weeks. What's been going on with, with me, with my family, with everything going on in my life. And I can't wait to get back to the podcasts. I can't wait to go back and get back into the episodes because there's just a lot of things coming down the pipeline, film related, things that are, truly being exerted and being put out there by all means, being known that there's a lot of people that have been, asking me when I was going to do another episode, and when I was going to come back, and when I was going to talk about this, talk about that. What were my thoughts about these commercials, and what did I think about, several other things that have happened in my absence. But I mean, while I was gone, while I was, doing the whole getting life on track, proposing to the girlfriend, dealing with Cody and everything else in between, I've kept up. I've tried to keep up with, everything that's been happening from, Avengers to DC to things that are coming out between the Fox and Disney deal, things that are happening with Fox, things that are happening with X-Men, and everything that's going on, in that aspect of media. But aside from all that, aside from the mainstream stuff, I've been kind of dabbling into some independent stuff also. There's this film called Just Getting Started with Morgan Freeman and Tommy Lee Jones, which is hilarious, by the way. This film flew under the radar as an independent film. Very, truly hilarious. It also stars Renee Russo, who's just awesome to see on screen whenever we get to. And she's one of those those very rare actresses you see every now and then on a film. Just so happened to come out, but it's awesome, man. That movie was just hilarious. If you guys get a chance to rent it or go watch it, I'm pretty sure it's on demand. It's called Just Getting Started. It's just I can't talk more about it because it's just that funny, and I can't give away too much. But I gotta say, man, the banter between Tommy Lee Jones and Morgan Freeman is just hilarious, man. It's like watching them be like honest best friends on screen, and just a camera following them around. So I gotta say, it was actually pretty hilarious. Another thing I want to talk about is spring break is among us here in South Texas, and I cannot emphasize this enough that there's just so many things wrong with spring break down here in the valley, and I don't even know where to start with that crap. I mean, honestly, you have college kids coming from North Texas, Oklahoma, all parts of the U.S. coming down to South Padre Island to just party their ass off and, drink and drugs and all that stuff. And, if you do drugs and you do drink, nothing against it. It's just, in, I guess you could say drinking and modesty and moderate levels and amounts and stuff like that. Yeah, that's understandable. But if you're like a spring breaker coming to cause trouble and problems and traffic and stuff, it's just a bad time. So, yeah, spring break is among us here. We're flooded with people in and out of the city and people that I've never seen before in my life, pop out at the local stores and around the corners and stuff, and at businesses and restaurants and stuff. So it's like, whoa, what the shit? So yeah, it's kind of crazy. We actually had some vandals vandalize some property there on the island. So there was that, and there was just, it's just so cliche that every year somebody goes missing, somebody gets injured, somebody gets into a fight, somebody dies at spring break almost every year down here. And I gotta say, man, we've had that stint about a couple years ago where we had a spring breaker go missing, and at a UME concert that was taking place at the island. It was an ultimate music festival with EDM music and trance and techno and electronica music happening on, and that was this huge concert that they have every year. And this kid was, I guess maybe he was doing drugs, maybe he was drinking, somewhere along the lines of doing something like that, where he was just, trapped and consumed by the whole problem of there being so many things happening all at once. The drinking, the drugs, people partying, pushing, mosh pitting, whatever the case may be over there. I don't know what's happening there, but he went missing, apparently, and his family was concerned. The family came down from north of Boston or somewhere around there, and came and assisted in searching for him, and authorities found him in a grassy marsh just right by his vehicle where they had already searched, right there on property, maybe 4 or 5 days after he went missing. So we had that incident happen, and it was a major national headline. I don't know if many people saw that, but that happened. And we had, back in the 70s or 80s, we had Mark Kilgore or somebody around that name. I'm pretty sure I butchered that, but somebody by the name of Kilgore, Mark something. He was found in Mexico. He was a spring breaker. He went missing down here, and he ended up getting into some trouble, I guess, or he just found himself at the wrong place at the wrong time while on spring break. So, there's always something happening down here that involves spring breakers, that involves some sort of mischief or trouble, and it's just a big pain in the ass to see it all happen, because when you're getting to my age where I'm already 26. I mean, I've never gone to spring break. I've never, done any of that crazy shit. I've hung out with friends here and locally. I've, hung out. I've gotten drunk. I've gotten, to the point where, I've been to witness some crazy stuff happen, but, nonetheless, I never went and, participated in spring break activities or did anything crazy or out of the ordinary. But, I guess when you're getting older and you realize that, people at spring break are just doing some really dumb shit, and some people are just, making some bad decisions and choices, it's just bad all around. You really can't emphasize, how bad it can be. But, yeah, I mean, I can't even realize how bad and how truly horrible it is to, be a part of something that, you're there to have a good time, you're there to enjoy yourself, hang out with friends, make new friends in the process, and, have a great time overall. And, somebody always has to ruin it by going missing or doing drugs or getting killed in the process, or someone pull out a gun, starts a fight, whatever the case may be. It's just bad there at the island. I try to avoid it all throughout the month of March, because it's just horrible. And when I say horrible, I mean it's bad. I mean, this whole week was Texas week. Let's just put the emphasis on there. And spring break's not over yet. We still got about another 2-3 weeks of this shit left until April. So, I mean, what does that mean for us? It's just going to get even worse as time goes on. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys, the incident that happened at spring break not too long ago, was that there was a girl who fell off a balcony of, I think, maybe 4 or 5 stories, and she passed away, obviously. But result of spring break partying, stuff that happens there, the island, I don't know what happens there, but it doesn't take a genius to actually put two and two together to realize what's going on and what's happening. So yeah. Other than that, I mean, can't really say what else is happening, what's going on with spring break, or what that means for all of us. Several people who are trying to live a regular life, and what that means about being able to enjoy ourselves and enjoy our spring break off from school and stuff. So that's kind of nice to get out there and enjoy our week off and enjoy our time where we can actually sit down and enjoy ourselves and all that stuff. So now that I've gotten the majority of all the stuff that I need to talk about, I wanted to share with you guys the 20 secrets and things that you probably missed in the Infinity War trailer. And yes, there's 20 of them, so I really can't put emphasis on there about what that means. Things that you probably saw in the trailer, things that you probably missed. So starting off with number 20, a snap of his fingers. Now the trailer has plenty of moments guaranteed to make any MCU fan, scream with excitement and delight, because there's just so many things that happen that can be really close back to the comic book material. So if you're one of them who have actually clung onto words, such as Gamora saying at the snap of his fingers, when he gets the Infinity Stones, all he has to do is wipe out half of humanity with a snap of his fingers. It's actually a comic book gesture from the comic book version of Infinity War. Thanos did exactly, after gaining a possession of all the stones, the comic actually suggested that one particular move of his was, snapping of the fingers. Well, his ultimate goal was to get rid of, half of the universe and, pretty much, destroy things that were in this path. So, but obviously we're having a big, major change in Thanos' origins, and we're having this big, not really so much of a direct reference to things in the comics, but, we're getting somewhere along the lines of, what we can expect. Number 19, Thanos only has a Power Stone so far. So one of the most pleasant surprises that I've actually witnessed in this new Infinity War trailer was the reveal of Thanos' new golden armor. Now, he's appeared in Guardians of the Galaxy with his armor and helmet, but Marvel kind of wanted to make it known that he would kind of be sporting this new kind of, fitted look for Infinity War, and it kind of looks, somewhat decent. But fans of all aspects shouldn't get distracted from what else in the exact scenes that we see with his new armor. Shouldn't be distracted from that. So if you look for a quick look of Thanos wearing the Infinity Gauntlet when he's removing his helmet, after Gamora mentions who he is, the Infinity Gauntlet only contains the purple Power Stone. Now, knowing that Thanos gets the blue Space Stone from Loki and fires raging from torn metal in the background, a sequence of events can be deduced. While the filmmakers have convinced that Thanos loses armor as he collects Infinity Stones, he can still be seen in his golden armor when putting the squeeze on Thor's head. But my guess is that this scene in the arrival of Thanos on Thor and Loki's ship at the end of Ragnarok possibly means that a showdown between Thor probably goes his way, as we see him being rescued by the Guardians at the end, at the end credit scene, how he's being met together with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and how things go and all that. But only time will tell how serious things are and how it meant to be, with that and it's ongoing. So yeah. Number 18, Iron Man's new armor. Now, it wouldn't be an Avengers movie if we didn't have some new tech being shown off by Iron Man, Tony Stark, how that goes. But in a scene in the trailer, he's flying at full speed in pursuit of the strange spinning Q-ship, which has actually been given the name Q-ship, that appears over New York City, and his full speed apparently isn't fast enough. So his new bleeding edge armor that's being showcased in the trailer can actually be transformed both across his body, kind of like, it's kind of like a nanotechnology, kind of the same as being expressed by like Black Panther, kind of with the armor that Shuri gave Black Panther and Black Panther. So it's kind of cool to see him, like, being able to maybe deduce or reduce this armor along his body or contort to his body in ways that it's more easy and able for him to move around and get across places. But uh, Tony is able to reform his armor boost into a single massive repulsor to kind of send him a little bit faster on his way. And the scene kind of shows him with that. We still haven't yet to see his wings that he's constructed or even realigned to present structures. But yeah, I mean, transforming boots into a repulsor cannon boost that kind of makes them go faster, that's kind of crazy. But I mean, hey, anything happens. It's Infinity War, right? I mean, anything's off the table. All bets are off. Number 17, Cap's team makes it to Wakanda. Now, since the later battle scenes, show that outside of Wakanda, show Captain America, Black Widow, the rest of the heroes such as Vision, Scarlet Witch, War Machine, and the Falcon come to play. It shows that this is actually being led to there being more involvement and existence between Captain America and what that means for him being in this rogue state, the reunification process between him and Bucky, how things are going to play out between that. Are we going to get some sort of an arc between them two? Is there even space to fit an arc between them two, even with this Infinity War going on? I really want to say that all the emphasis and the focus on this film is about the Infinity War. All side stories aside, there has to be some sort of, I guess you could say, some balance in between of what it all means and how it's all going to bridge together and gap without there being any, existence or any mention of any other stories. Because like I said, the involvement of Guardians of the Galaxy meeting the Avengers, that's one thing. It's been on the ladder for the longest time. Spider-Man reuniting with everybody and kind of, learning, his wayabouts and with the new Iron Spider technology into suit, that's been noticed too. But, the interactions between, Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy and how things are going to be going on, what Bucky's involvement means, what Tony thinks about it, it's just, everything's off the table at this point. It's Infinity War. Like I just said, anything happens, everything is going to be happening. So, yeah, if you guys really want to look more into this, there's a scene description of Infinity War that EW has done when they did set visits when their time on set. You guys can kind of look more into it. It's more talked about and broken down to. Not in so much descriptive detail, but it's still kind of talked about. Number 16, how much can the Vision give to Wakanda? Now, these shots of Shuri going to be enough for fans of the Black Panther's new extended family and support team? Probably not. But before anything happens, there's serious business to be taken care of. Shuri has another broken white boy to taken care of. Well, a broken magenta boy. It turns out to be a living being woven from the vibranium, informing her of all of the technology. That discovery explains her stunned expression of its own when it begs the question, what kind of effect will Vision have on Wakanda? So, questions like this may not be answered in this film since the heroes have bigger problems to worry about, obviously. But I wouldn't be shocked if Shuri's encounter with Vision led to some incredible new tech in the Black Panther's nanotechnology. Maybe that means something, a weapon upgrade, being described and being built on for his next standalone film, maybe for part 4 of the Avengers. Who knows? Number 15, the Guardians return to nowhere. There are too many shots of dark metallic ship-like interiors to make sense of any of this, but it's worth slowing down and trying. When you look at the trailer, it's kind of like a blink and you miss. Things, you notice the crew of the Milano, minus Groot and Rocket Raccoon, are actually stopping in a nowhere by the presence of the familiar mining ships from the first movie. So why are they there? So thanks to previous leaks from Reddit and 4chan, we know that the Guardians will witness a scene between Thanos and the Collector, with the former demanding to know where the Power Stone, aka the Ether, has ended up. But since Thor would know Lady Sif and Volstagg delivered the Ether to the Collector for safekeeping, once he ran to the Guardians, he clearly passed on the knowledge before taking off with Groot and Rocket, and left them to get a step ahead of Thanos. Nice try. That's not going to happen. Number 14, the Guardians meet Iron Man, but not all of them. So, like I said, there's things to be deduced and things to be talked about when it comes to there being the involvement of the Guardians meeting Iron Man and everybody else in the Avengers. The first sign of the comedy in store for audiences arrives when Star-Lord meets with Iron Man. The bad news is that their respective success as comic relief doesn't seem to apply to each other, more likely to irritate than appreciate. So, I think the good news in all this is that there's a short scene that offers some great room for speculation and some comedy that could be thrown up across some banter across from characters, but it's not because of the meeting of the Guardians, which isn't a part of it at all. So Gamora seems to be this like no-show in a portion of the story, which is kind of weird because maybe she's off fighting with Nebula, or maybe they're fighting against each other, or maybe they're just out doing their own thing. Maybe she's out with Hawkeye. Maybe she's out trying to find Hawkeye or Ant-Man, or maybe there's some sort of involvement or something down the road that involved them coming into the fray. But I'm open up to any theories of how things happen between what the exact interaction between these characters would mean and what it means for like the MCU in general. I mean, this is the first time all characters and all MCU platforms are going to be on the same film at the exact same time. Obviously, they're going to wait and save the money shot of all the team fighting along each other against Thanos and the Black Order and his Chitauri army. I think that's just Chitauri army. Somewhere down the road, and maybe that means Avengers 4, because obviously Avengers Infinity War is a two-parter. We're probably going to get left with the cliffhanger in part 1, which is going to piss off a lot of people because we're going to have to wait a whole fucking year till we get part 2. So that really is shitty. Number 13, Peter's new Iron Spider suit upgrade. So the studio really couldn't keep quiet about, Peter Parker's suit being the Iron Spider suit, because obviously if you've seen Spider-Man Homecoming, you knew it was going to happen. So the trailer gives an excellent shot of Iron Spider armor suit without its masks, and it's worth absorbing in all its glory. But if you really draw attention and pay attention to Peter's neckline of the suit, it's really not a clean cut of where the mask and the suit would actually meet. So maybe his armor does show maybe some remasked, unmasked, kind of deployed nanotechnology, kind of like Tony's suit and Black Panther's suit. It could happen. Number 12, the God of Thunder's cape returns. Now, questions don't need to be complicated if you really saw this trailer and really paused and really kind of glanced over things and see if you missed anything. But rumors and reports have all been confirmed about the start of Thor's journey, Infinity War, being beat by Thanos and him reunited with the Guardians of the Galaxy. He recovered by the Guardians and taken to the realm of the dwarves by Groot and Rocket. From there, where his weapon is forged into the Stormbreaker, which has obviously been a clear giveaway in the trailer, but also a clear giveaway in also the material sources and the marketing for the film. Toys and everything have been released, Lego pieces and stuff like that have kind of given away plot details for those stories. And it's fun to piece together because it's nice to know that things are actually going to happen when you know they're going to happen. But before, Thor gets his cape back, we kind of have to ask, where does Thor get his cape back? How does he get his cape back? In the past, it's kind of materialized along with Thor's armor when transforming to his battle gear. So it's, why go without a cape in Ragnarok's ending? And kind of reclaim it, with a new weapon at the end of, getting your weapon. I guess maybe he got it after he forged his weapon, or somewhere along the lines of him being, brought back to this fact that he's able to, do this. Which kind of leads to number 11. Thor calls lightning with his digitally removed new weapon. So, floating red cape is all but a tease for fans need to know that Thor is going to do something epic, right? But previous trailers have shown him operating what we assumed was a solar forge used to make the new Mjolnir. That's a mission conducted by himself, Rocket Raccoon, and a teenage Groot, with no glimpses of dwarven smiths from the Master of Dwarves or anything in any involvement of that. But thanks to recent toy leaks, like I just mentioned, confirming Thor's new weapon was actually the mystical axe Stormbreaker. But in this shot, the lightning is simply being called to his raised fist. if you really look at the trailer, he's just showing a fist he's calling for thunder straight from his his fists and his body. So maybe they're just waiting to show him with his weapon to preserve that moment for the film. Maybe that's pretty cool marketing. Number 10, Thanos adopts Gamora as his daughter. So back when she was introduced as a daughter of Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy, moviegoers didn't really know how the comics might have assumed Gamora wasn't really a villain. But over time, the truth came out that she was the daughter of Thanos simply because, well, he had wiped out the entire planet of, the Conquest and kept her as a deadly assassin, which she raised up to be. Now, it's kind of implied that Thanos has this twisted, very much he was eager to take advantage of a powerful, entity known as, Gamora, and kind of train her to be this deadly fighter. But nonetheless, sorry, I kind of dropped the mic there. Judging by the looks of these people in the trailer, the Chitauri army given to Loki by Thanos could actually show that Gamora may have gotten out of the situation at the last second when her people and her colony were destroyed. The green-skinned people, like Gamora. So, number 9, Thor gets a Titanic headache. See what I did there? The moment we alluded to previously in our list, and the one that fans of Ragnarok have dreaded since the mid-credit scene, just when Thor seemed to be charting a new course as King of Asgard, in search of a new home for his people, Thanos strikes, which kind of means his people are going to get slaughtered and killed, and Thanos brings the mighty Thor to his knees. So, Thor succumbs to Thanos' grip, but will also be interesting to deal when he arrived to Captain America's handshake at the end, if you kind of missed it. But maybe it's Thanos' way suggesting that Thanos hurts Thor to get the Space Stone from Loki, since Loki kind of, said, he's going to do the right thing and be the right person. But he eventually surrenders the Space Stone, and, maybe that could be leading to, the fight between him and, Thor later on in the film, or some sort of confrontation. Obviously, this is happening before he gets Stormbreaker and his cape back. So, number 8, Loki is captured by the Black Order. So things aren't really looking good for Loki no matter how you cut it. But the final moments of Thor Ragnarok were a bad enough sign of their own. But when Marvel confirmed that this was Thanos' ship in Ragnarok's post-credit scene, it was safe to assume that the Asgardians were in for some trouble. They show Loki may get it worse than anybody else on the ship. I don't want to dig too deep into this to where the scene may or may not go, but it's kind of obvious fans of the Asgardians should cross their fingers starting right about now. Number 7, Thanos crushes the Tesseract for the Space Stone inside. It seems like a small distinction, but it's not. The Tesseract is not the Space Stone, but a container to hold the Space Stone. That contains the powers of the Tesseract, were just a taste of Infinity Stone's true potential. And if anyone doubted the superior physiology of Thanos, he's capable of holding the stones in his bare hands, where even the child of a Celestial needs friends. Number 6, Scarlet Witch's shot holds a secret. It's a blink and if you miss it shot where she's looking up at, she's kind of looking up surprised at this one figure. But we don't really see much, but if you pause the frame really quickly, I think it's a glove that belongs to Proxima Midnight, and the blue glow that's coming from the end of her staff, the one that she throws at Steve Rogers, kind of like in the trailer, the first trailer that we saw. So there's some interaction between Scarlet Witch and Proxima Midnight. Maybe there's some sort of interaction between there. Maybe she's saved in one of the shots because she's seen looking back at something that probably might have to happen with Vision at the time that he's going to get the Soul Stone removed. Who knows, right? I mean, it's just one of those things, I guess. Number 5, Doctor Strange is tortured by Ebony Maw. Now, in the trailer, it's actually pretty close to pretty close to this comic book material. It's kind of unfortunate. It's kind of having all these strange spikes surrounding Doctor Strange in this shot, and then the next shot being Ebony Maw with his finger over his mouth, telling him to shush or be quiet. But the Infinity War comic that originally put the Infinity Gauntlet on Thanos' hand may be the best known of all such stories, but it's not the only one. There is also Jonathan Hickman's more recent comic run where it shows the children of Thanos' henchmen being drawn from, and you wouldn't know it, the versions of includes Ebony Maw messing with Doctor Strange's mind to get information out of him, i.e., these strange spikes surrounding his face. So what does that mean? Probably assuming that these creative cuts probably intended to mislead, probably just to show that there could be some sort of, weird way to, get into Doctor Strange's mind. Remember, he had that whole vision of how he was going to bargain with Dormammu at the end of Doctor Strange, so that could be one of these things that could happen. Number 4, the Hulk gets overrun by Tony's armor by these Wakandan figures. Now, the first appearance of the now infamous Hulkbuster armor didn't seem to be all that mysterious, but a big battle is coming, potentially showing Thanos against the Wakandans. But who else is there to man the armor of the Hulkbuster other than, you guessed it, Dr. Bruce Banner himself? But yet, as soon as a set of tie-in toys confirmed that Banner's in the Hulkbuster armor and not Iron Man. That kind of makes sense, since Banner warned that going Hulk one more time would mean that he's gone forever. But factor in the waves of oncoming alien soldiers, a swarm of overwhelms the Hulkbuster and presses it to the ground, and the epic shot of Hulk alongside Earth's heroes, which means Bruce probably has no other choice but to go full Hulk. And here's to hoping that this won't be his last decision to make on his own. Number 3, Tony loses his armor in battle. It looks like even Tony's brand new armor can still be broken in battle with an overpowered alien brawler despite a fancy upgrade. The first shots of Tony rattled and crying on the strange alien world promised some heartbreak fans weren't going to expect. But Tony sitting in such a landscape with his street clothes made it all seem a bit less real. But was it an illusion? Was it a fear made real like he suffered in Civil War? That broken honeycomb pattern on his suit that you see is now visible confirms that this is a post-Thanos fight, which means that somebody or something happened along the lines of, him being, involved in this confrontation. But at least now we know that it's going to definitely leave people upset, and at least we could probably plan accordingly, right? Number 2, how strong can Steve Rogers actually be? So, it's not quite the final standoff between Thanos and Steve Rogers in the original comic book event, but Cap and Thanos holding hands is still as close as a comic book dream come true as some fans may now get from now on. But if we're honest, so we're just as confused as maybe Thanos is in that final shot. But wait a minute, only 2 Infinity Stones? The odds of a wild card or hero twist just multiplied. So who's got the best theory to explain Steve's Thanos level strength? Adrenaline? Gatorade? Performance-enhancing substances? Steroids? It kind of, makes you think, how strong is he? And Marvel kind of dropped the hammer there on that one, because there's 2 different shots where Cap is actually holding Thanos' hand up with his shield on his wrist, and another a shot where he doesn't. Secrets. And number 1, Spider-Man swings through a shattered moon. One thing to obliterate a planet's moon using only your hand, send it hurtling towards your opponents, is a cosmic cannon barrage, but using your heightened reflexes, agility, and web swinging abilities to apparently dodge them on the way down. Is it safe? Probably not. But we'll have to wait and see, since Pete's on the planet with Iron Man, Star-Lord, and Doctor Strange. But how is Drax going to hide from all this impending doom that we see happening? And that was the top 20 things that you missed in the trailer breakdown for Infinity Wars. There's so many other things to talk about, guys, that are coming on, that could be discussed and witnessed in this new trailer. If you have not seen it yet, it's available for your viewing pleasure on YouTube. I will try to attach this clip onto it on my Instagram page and on my Twitter. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been episode 49 of the Real Radar Radio Show. You guys have a great week. Check out that trailer. Let me know what you think. Follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'll see you guys next time. Episode 50.